Hey, how's it going, man? What do we got?
I have a piece from Albert Einstein.
Really?
Handwritten math.
By Albert Einstein.
Yep.
That is pretty cool. Einstein is pretty amazing. All of this physics stuff has changed the world. So what does E equal mc squared?
Energy times mass equals a concept.
No.
What is it?
Energy equals matter times the constant squared.
Okay, that's basically what I said.
No, it's not. I'm not going to argue physics. I'm not going to argue physics with you.
You should learn how to say it first.
I'm here at the pawn shop today to sell my handwritten Albert Einstein math scripture. I'm looking to get $18,000. If I'm able to strike a deal today, I'd probably just trade it out for something as special as that.
This is very interesting.
Einstein was actually a celebrity for being smart, which you just don't really see that much of these days.
Is it signed by him?
Well, it's just math that he did. I did some research. To actually have his math was one of the rarest things that you can get.
Are you a physicist or?
No, I wish I could solve the equation myself.
So it's probably pre-1929 because this would be the cosmological constant.
What's Einstein saying, Mr. Physics guy?
All right. The upside down V, or an A without a line, is considered the cosmological constant, which went to the wayside in 1929. When Einstein thought that the universe was stagnant, we had to come up with this whole massive, crazy equation called the cosmological constant to sort of throw into the theory of relativity. Fortunately, Hubble came out in 1929 and says, hey, the whole universe is expanding and not stagnant, so he didn't need the entire equation for the cosmological constant, and therefore that went away. So that symbol has not been used since the 1920s. I'm sure you already know that.
I didn't.
Albert Einstein was one of the greatest scientific minds ever. His theories will be in history books forever. When I look at this piece of paper, it makes me feel a little less smart. So how much do you want for this?
I'm asking $18,000.
Okay.
I got a few problems here.
Okay.
And my dad is a nerd, so he's just going to keep going and
Hold
going
on a
with it.
second here.
We have no proof that it's Einstein. It'd be really nice if he signed it or something, but realistically, we have a piece of paper with a bunch of math doodles on it. So while he sits there and nerds out on it, do you mind if I have someone come down and take a look at it?
No problem.
All right, I'll be right back.
Thanks.
Capital A is amplitude. I gotta look at my symbols. I forget them all. So?
You say Einstein, and I get excited. And I know you geek out.
Yeah.
So math calculations by Einstein, these things could go for upwards of $50,000.
Really?
Concerns, first of all.
First off, it's not signed by Einstein.
Right. You got to figure this much, Rick. He's writing out mathematical equations, not signing autographs, so it would make sense to not have a signature on it.
So, is it written by Einstein?
What I basically want to do is just kind of go over the ink itself, looking for fountain pen. As we know, fountain pen pre-World War II. After World War II, was a lot of ballpoint pens used, so. And right there, definitely fountain pen on here. The next thing I want to do, I have a few of his writings. The thing I have to really do is start comparing letter by letter with him. H is always pretty distinctive. And we take a look here, he uses it here and here. He uses it kind of all over the place. The writing matches up. I'm familiar with this type of piece, so I have no problem with it. It's definitely authentic.
Great.
Okay, sweet. So, big question, what's it worth?
The stuff really isn't out there, Rick. You know, it's pretty rare. But based on kind of what I see, the piece itself, I put this value right at about $5,000.
Okay.
If we knew what this was for, it could be even that much more significant.
All right. Cool, man.
Good seeing you. The great thing about Einstein, he's just such an iconic legend. We still see his image all the time, and that helps keep his value up.
All right, so there's definitely a price difference there.
Yeah, big one.
But what he's saying is true. We don't know exactly what it says.
Well, won't take up any space in the shop.
Well, no, it takes up wall space. I just can't throw it in the showcase like that because you got to frame it up. You got to put a picture of Einstein there, maybe a picture of me next to it. I'd give you $3,000 for it. I mean, that's like the most money that makes sense to me.
I can't go that low. There's nothing else on the market that's even close to that price. Literally, the next thing to it that I could even find was ballpark of that $15,000 to $18,000. You couldn't come anywhere near the $14,000 mark?
No. 3,000 is what I could do. Obviously, a deal's not going to be made because we're really far apart.
I understand.
All right. Well, thanks for bringing it in.
Thank you.
Change your mind, we're always here.
Thank you much.
Really, with a picture of you next to it?
I was joking, all right? Hey, how can I help you?
I have something here that I think you're going to be very interested in. This is Nikola Tesla's very first prototype motor, built in 1887.
That's really, really cool.
What is Tesla?
Tesla made more contributions to our way of life today than any other engineer or scientist in recorded history. I decided to come here today to the pawn shop to see if they would be interested in buying my Tesla prototype motor. This motor should be worth $1 million. In today's economy, I am trying to sell this motor for $250,000.
How did you find this?
This motor was made by Tesla's assistant, and he sent it to William A. Anthony, who is the professor of electrical engineering at Cornell. Tesla wanted Anthony's endorsement. This motor stayed in the vaults at Cornell until a couple of people recognized this as something interesting, and I bought it from them.
Tesla was probably the smartest man of the 19th century. He basically invented the electricity we use in homes. He invented alternating current.
That's right.
If this is actually Tesla's first motor, it's like finding the lost ark for technology buffs. It would also mean it's worth an incredible amount of cash.
Depending on which of these switches you closed first or second, the rotor would rotate this way or rotate this way, which is the basis of all alternating current motors.
What's that mean?
Okay. Before this, they had direct current, like battery power. DC current was only good for a mile or two. As opposed to alternating current, the electricity could go 100 miles in a wire. It was just much more efficient. Do you understand?
Sure.
Nikola Tesla was obsessed with electricity, and his greatest invention was the alternating current motor and generator. He's without a doubt one of the greatest inventors of all time. How much did you want for it?
$250,000.
I mean, it doesn't sound like a out-of-this-world number if it's Tesla's original motor. But I have to have someone I know tell me what it is before I start talking numbers. So let me make some phone calls. All right?
You got it.
I'll be right back.
All right. Thank you. I am totally convinced that this is the original. If they want to bring in an expert to verify it or whatever, I'm happy with that. That's fine.
Oh, I spotted Mark.
Hey, Jim. The guys normally call me down here when they have an unusual historical piece, because after 35 years of running museums, there isn't much I haven't seen at one point or another.
This man believes he has Nikola Tesla's original induction motor.
Interesting. Tesla is one of those characters out of the 19th century that everybody should be aware of. You know, the amount of change that he brought to our lives that we're still dealing with today. It was Tesla's design that created the first major power plants. In fact, they used Tesla's designs to create the power plant at the bottom of Niagara Falls. What makes you think that this is Tesla's prototype?
Because it came from William A. Anthony, who's the professor of electrical engineering at
Cornell, right. Mm-hmm.
Because it follows exactly the patent description of May 4 of 1888.
He did a design for an engine. He actually did two, sent both of them to Professor Anthony. And Professor Anthony tested them. He was so impressed that he went to the American Institute for Electrical Engineers and talked them into inviting Tesla to come in and speak. And this is an image from his talk. When Tesla spoke, this is the motor that he demonstrated. Nikola Tesla is one of the most important people in the history of electrical use in the history of the modern world. In the account, Professor Anthony is brought up on stage and was asked to speak about what Tesla was saying. And that's where I think I have some bad news for you. Professor Anthony said, these appear to be the same motors that I tested. So they weren't left behind at Cornell. But what I think you have here is probably the 19th century teaching version.
I know you've done your research, but I respectfully disagree. The design of this, which matches the patent, far exceeds the engineering design in this illustration. I think this precedes that motor.
We have a different opinion. That's going to happen. Unless you found a picture of Tesla holding this, it's going to be very, very hard to prove.
Thanks for coming in, Mark. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
There's nothing I can do with it. I mean, I gotta respect Mark's opinion, and if he doesn't believe it's Tesla's, I'm not gonna buy it.
I'm definitely disappointed that I'm not going to have the lost ark of technology in my shop. I'm just glad I didn't drop $250,000 on some teacher's visual aid. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you. I think the guys made a huge mistake today. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I know they're going to regret it.
Chum, did I get a package in?
I think you have 2 packages right here. What are you expecting?
Something extremely special, supposedly, hopefully.
Pictures?
Not pictures, letters.
Letters?
I know they normally come in an envelope, but not this time. See that name right there?
Albert Einstein.
Yes,
The Albert Einstein?
the Albert Einstein.
Is this another one?
Yes. And this one, incredible.
So, where did you get this?
So, I mean, it's kind of an odd deal. I had a guy contact me. He says he represents an individual that owns these and is interested in selling them.
Really?
This is Einstein. This is a guy with an incredible mind. Sort of became like the first famous physicist. You know, he came up with the theory of relativity. He won a Nobel Prize, and to this day, he's like a pop icon. I mean, people make paintings of him today.
You wish you had hair like Einstein, don't you? It would be an upgrade. What are we looking at here?
These are actually letters corresponding with another physicist, which is super, super cool. This Professor David Bohm, he was a professor in Brazil, and they were communicating back and forth in the 1950s about Einstein's theory of everything. That's probably what the correspondence is here. And this is talking about imperial facts and a bunch of other stuff.
This one looks like maybe he signed his name there and it bled away or something.
It looks like it's gotten wet, and it also has some mold damage on it, which kind of sucks. I don't even know how you would authenticate the signature. Let me give the guy a call. There's a company laptop around here somewhere, right?
Let me get it. Here it is.
All right. So. Hello, you must be Joey.
Hello, Rick. How are you?
I am doing good. I have the letters. Can you give me a little history on them and what we're doing here?
I represent a client who collects art history and artifacts. We knew that you were a bit of a history buff, so that's why we sent you these letters to see what your thought process on them was.
They're pretty impressive. One of them, the signature is really messed up.
Yes, yes. But we did send it to you because both letters correlate with each other about quantum mechanics.
All right. I know that Einstein was in constant communication with Professor Bohm. They had a lot of correspondence over the years, and a lot of those letters have come up for sale. So how much does he want for these?
We're asking $15,000 for both letters.
I'll tell you what. Here's the deal. I mean, like, the one that's messed up, that's really, really difficult because I've never really dealt with an autograph in that bad a shape. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my signature guy to look at these things. I'm going to get his opinion on the value and everything like that. And I'm going to get back a hold of you. And hopefully we can make a deal. All right?
Absolutely, yes.
All right, talk to you soon. You know any quotes from Einstein?
Yeah.
Which one?
EMC equals square.
Close.
Hey, Rick.
Hey, Steve, what's up?
Not much. What's happening?
I'm getting a little insight into physics from Albert Einstein.
Is it helping?
No. So what we got here is 2 letters written by Albert Einstein to another physicist. He's literally talking about his life's work.
That's really interesting. He was well known to correspond with different friends of his, peers, politicians.
The content is just unbelievable. The problem is the signature.
Yeah, I'm starting to see that right now. So I'm gonna pull this up, or actually just take a closer look and kind of see what we're dealing with, Rick, because it does look like it's got some real issues here. This would have been the signature line, obviously, as they call it, yours, Albert Einstein. He would have signed right there. But this has suffered some real serious damage. It's just like a blob almost. Let's take a look at this one. This is a little more typical of what I would expect. Just a beautiful autograph. He has this A that would slant to the right, and I'm seeing that here. He dots at the end. He dots after the A. You see the same kind of characteristics. And he took a lot of pride in this signature when he signed his name. So no doubt, though, about the signature here being good. So you've got 2 very fascinating pieces here.
Okay, so value-wise, what are they worth?
Typically, Einstein letters, as you know, you could find them out there. His autograph is desirable, but it's not difficult to locate. This piece here, with the signature full intact, the shorter letter, I'd put the value right at $3,500.
And this one?
This one here, aesthetically, it's not too pleasing, but still, this is a great letter. I don't think you'd care about the signature. You have his thoughts. He's pouring it out right here. That valued $3,000. So as a pair, $6,500.
All right, thanks, man. I'll call you, tell you if I get them.
All right, good stuff, man. Thanks again.
All right.
Good seeing you.
Hey, Joey, how's it going?
Hey, Rick, how are you?
I'm doing great. Had my guy look at the stuff, and it's not 15,000.
Okay.
According to him, there's a lot of these out there. I'll give you 5,000.
Wow, that's considerably lower than we thought. Can you do 9,000?
No, I can go 5,000. There's a very good track record on what they go for.
6.5.
It's Einstein. They're letters to another physicist. They will sell very quickly, but a lot of his letters are out there. 5K.
I think these letters are going to a better place, so I think I'm going to take your offer.
Sweet, we got a deal. I am going to shoot you over an email. I need to get some info from you, and I'll get you paid.
Excellent.
Okay. And if you have any more of this stuff, let me know.
Absolutely.
All right. Have a great day, bud.
Bye-bye.
These are so cool. What is this? I know who he is.
Yes, Nikola Tesla. A very rare poem written by Tesla.
I did not know he was a poet. He was like one of the greatest engineers ever.
This is a poem that Tesla wrote right after he had his first big argument with Thomas Edison.
That's really, really cool.
Most people don't know who Tesla is, but Tesla gave us everything we have today. We wouldn't have TV, we wouldn't have radio, we wouldn't have radar. Tesla wasn't really a poet, and that's why it was rare. I've never, ever seen anything like it.
Turns out this was probably one of the smartest guys ever. I mean, this guy is right up there with Einstein. He got together with Westinghouse, created alternating current, what we use in homes now. And there was a giant battle between Westinghouse and Edison over what should be used in homes. AC, which was alternating current, versus DC, which is direct current. That's why we have the electric chair, believe it or not, is because Edison wanted to show how dangerous Westinghouse's alternating current was. So he actually went on stage at fairs and electrocuted elephants and killed them. I mean, that's just sick.
Yeah, quite amazing. Tesla, to combat that, put 5.5 million volts through his body and arced off of his fingertips 5.5-foot bolts.
I mean, just an incredible guy. You know, a lot of people attribute the invention of electricity to Edison. It was really
Tesla.
It was really Tesla.
He turned down the Nobel Prize because he was supposed to share it with Edison. That's how bad the feud was.
Edison and Tesla, straight up, didn't like each other. Edison actually tried to prevent Tesla from using his light bulbs. So in response, Tesla invented the fluorescent light bulb. Okay, the plaque says, this verse illustrates the humorous side of Tesla.
Now, this is believed to have been written because when he first came to this country, he went to work for Thomas Edison. And Thomas Edison said, if you can fix my generators, I'll pay you $50,000. Tesla fixed Edison's generators, and when he went to get the money, Edison said, no, I'm just joking.
He said, I'm just joking. That's the way we do it in America.
Exactly. That's how the feud began between the two.
Okay, so let's see what it says. Poetry does not pay better. Try to make hay, mind the sophomore, and bother me no more. All right, so it's a little esoteric. Basically what he's saying is you're gonna have to work to make your money and get the amateurs out of the way.
Well, basically, he was going to work and do what he needed to do to prove Edison totally wrong.
The fact that two of the greatest inventors in history had a feud is a crazy story. And if Tesla actually wrote a poem about it, I want to buy it. Now I just need to find out, is it real? How much do you want?
Well, it's been valued at $5,000.
Okay, we're not out of the ballpark here. I'm gonna call someone. I'm gonna get him down here to take a look at this. If it's legit, well, I'm definitely gonna try and do business with you because I consider this one of the coolest guys in history. I will be right back.
Thank you.
This guy has a poem written by Tesla, supposedly.
Wow, okay.
And I am in awe.
Absolutely. I mean, Tesla was the man. I mean, from an early age, he could solve problems in a day or two that people would take, you know, probably years to do. And he was just on a genius level. I think he was off the charts.
I mean, to me, I've always been pretty fascinated with the guy. He invented so much stuff.
I mean, you do know that's where they coined the term mad scientist, right?
It doesn't surprise me. I just want to make sure it was written by him, because even 100 years ago, people were faking stuff by him.
All right, first thing I want to do is take a better look. I see some variances of the ink. It's getting lighter, it's getting darker. And I believe it's a live ink signature, so at least we know that there's ink here on paper.
Okay, so it's not printed, it's someone actually wrote it out with an ink pen.
Absolutely. Next thing I want to do, Rick, is I want to look at this thing side by side compared to the examples that I have.
Okay.
So when I start to look at this signature and I come in here, it's very basic, it's very simple. He has a distinct angle to the right, and it's not really too complicated. And when I start to see the two together, I'm starting to look at what appears to me are very similar signatures.
So do you think it's all legit?
Well, based on what I'm seeing here, the ink, the analysis I've done, the signature comparison, I think we've got a legitimate signature here.
Okay, sweet. What do you think it's worth?
Based on rarity, good ballpark retail figure is about $2,500.
Don't you think that's a little low? I mean, I've had it appraised at over $5,000.
Right, I understand that. I understand the appraisal value, but also at the same time, I think it's kind of hard to find a buyer for this. To be quite frank, a lot of people don't really know much about the guy anymore.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, man.
Yeah, my pleasure. Good to see you.
Good luck. Thank you.
Yep, thank you very much.
So what do you want for it?
Well, you know, how about 2? And I know you want this. I can tell you do.
But I'm a business owner, I can't fall in love with things. Take 1,500 for it?
16's the lowest I can go.
Got a deal.
Got a deal.
Okay, I'll meet you right over there. Let's write this thing up.
Got it.
It's really cool to own a handwritten poem by one of my heroes. Maybe it'll get lost somehow and I won't be able to sell it. What do we have here?
It's a limited edition of Albert Einstein by the artist Halsman. Was the cover of Time magazine.
Einstein was a genius. I mean, he came up with relativity.
No Einstein.
I came to the pawn shop to sell an original photograph of Albert Einstein. Years ago, I had an art gallery in Southern California and have had this in my collection ever since. I really want $10,000, probably go down to 8.
I mean, I just really love the picture. Einstein was a really interesting individual. For a guy to write a paper that basically rewrote every physics book in the world while he was a patent clerk.
Kind of off the chart. He was so smart.
An amazing guy, and he was a fun guy, too. You know, I mean, you see pictures of him in the 40s and the 50s riding bicycles. Albert Einstein is basically the rock star of scientists. I mean, name another scientist whose face most people instantly recognize. So this is done by Halsman?
Yes. Halsman was famous for his portraiture. The detail that he was able to achieve. I mean, just look at those eyes. It can grab you.
Yeah, I mean, you can literally see every pore, every detail of his face. I mean,
I love that this thing is signed by the photographer. That can bump the price way up. But this could be a high-quality reprint, so I have to get it checked out before I throw any money down. You know, it's a really famous photo. It's 80 of 99. There was a lot of photographers out there. I don't know if Halsman ever did it, but they would put out a limited edition, make a slightly bigger size, put out a limited edition, a slightly different size, and it really waters down the value. Let me call up a buddy of mine to come down and take a look at it. We'll get this thing figured out.
Okay. I have no thoughts of anything but authenticity. I welcome having an expert take a look at it.
Hey,
Brett,
Corey.
what's going on, buddy?
How are you?
I'm doing wrong.
Albert Einstein.
Yes.
Don't make me talk physics. There's a reason I became an art appraiser. Very nice. The guys have been kind enough to call me down here on all manner of appraisal, but mostly fine art, two-dimensional pieces, and occasionally some sculpture as well.
So you know much about the photographer?
Yeah, he's Latvian-born, immigrated to this country. Actually, Albert Einstein himself helped get him to this country in 1940, right when the Germans were storming Europe. And it was here that he really became famous for his portraiture. He did almost every 20th century icon you can think of. He had some famous shots of Marilyn Monroe, Salvador Dali. He really went to great lengths during the interview process, talking with his subjects. He would ask impertinent questions. He would tell raunchy jokes, all to prompt a reaction. And I'm sure that's what happened in this case. It's an interesting piece because it's just Einstein being Einstein. There's really nothing fancy about the piece. It just captures him deep in thought, the piercing eyes, the wild hair, the unkempt mustache, all the things that made Einstein who he was. And I think that's what draws people to that particular photograph. Now, do you have any concerns about this piece, Rick?
Yeah, I just want to make sure that this Halsman didn't put out multiple prints with the same numbers. Is everything legit and good?
Sure. As far as I know, this is the only edition piece of this particular image. It's on the right type of paper, the right photographic paper. It's a silver gelatin print. The detail is very high. It's not something that's third or fourth generation. This is obviously from the original negative. I'm familiar with Halsman's work. The signature looks dead on from the other prints that I've seen. So everything matches up. It looks legitimate to me.
So what does something like this go for?
This piece has a lot going for it. I mean, it's an iconic image, famous photographer, famous subject, great condition, one of the best condition prints I've seen in a long time. It's presented well. I mean, unsigned pieces I've seen sell for $4,000 and $5,000. I think a signed and numbered piece could sell at auction or in the right venue from $7,000 to $8,000.
Okay, thanks, man.
Hey,
really
always
appreciate
a pleasure.
it.
My pleasure, Rick.
To hear 7 or 8 coming from somebody with his knowledge and his background, then that's where it should be.
What do you realistically want for it?
I walked in looking for 10,000. I'll go 75. Is there enough in it for you at the 75?
There's nothing in it for me. I have overhead here. I have a mortgage.
No, I hear you.
I will give you $5,000. That is the most I can go. Literally. You yourself said you owned a gallery. If you had something on the wall that you were going to get $7,000 to $8,000 for in your gallery, you wouldn't have paid over $5,000.
I'm a believer in true signed numbered art, that it continues to go up every year. I'll go 7.
The art market is tough right now, and I'm just not getting the numbers I used. I mean, I'll go 5. That's cash money.
I decided to separate at a number, and I've come off that number, but I can't come off in half.
Okay.
It's just too far.
I understand. Thanks for coming in, though.
I'm going to take it home, put it back on the wall where it's been in place before, that I'm going to look at every morning, get an incentive every time I look into his eyes,